Tony. I've been working in the technical arena for the last 20 plus years on a variety of projects as a senior project manager, program manager, PMO. I've done all those roles within 20 plus years. Organizations range from 8 people. Typically, most of the businesses have been around the low hundreds. I've also worked at some global companies as well. Solutions provided, anything from basic website rebuilds with the end user always in mind, through to CRM, ERP, financial systems, telephony systems, etc. In those times, I've covered just about everything and anything. And I've got the scars to prove it.
What sort of problems do our clients experience that means they need you to come and help them?
Typically, they've got a project underway, there's a cost overrun, there's a resource problem, the scope's not defined, problems with the vendor, not a clear pathway to the end of the project.
And we can fix all those. How would you go about fixing all those?
Absolutely. So I've done a number of failed projects. The first thing you need to do is talk to the senior stakeholders. And basically re-baseline the project to make sure they know what they want. They know why, for instance, they replace the system. Sometimes we want to replace the system, and nobody's really questioning why they're replacing the system. What's wrong with the previous system? What's wrong with the system they're putting in at the moment? Is it because the vendor's not listening, or the company itself hasn't made their mind up? There's not enough vigor in place, lack of transparency. Project team not being aware of what a project team does, for instance, if you're business as usual people. All those things can accumulate to a failed project. It's very rarely one thing out of all those that makes a project fail. It's normally an accumulation of all those things.
Okay, and do you have some real life examples of
sure.
And how you fixed it?
Yeah, so I one company I was with, they were the UK operation of an international company, and they were replacing their HR, finance, and time-intensive system, and the onboarding, everything from cradle to grave to deal with people. Problem was the project was being funded by the UK office and 10 franchises. But the 10 franchises weren't franchises in the normal sense that you regard a franchise like McDonald's or whatever. These were separate legal entities run by very strong-minded people. And the basic problem was they were not being listened to, even though they provided 50% of the resource, 50% of the money. So it's a question of re-engaging those, rebuilding the senior project team, doing a RACI to make sure who was putting in, who needs to be informed, who's decision making. None of that was in place. So basically, some of the meetings that took place were just open rows, not constructive at all. Everybody was depressed, and it was basically resetting the project back to basics. Working out the aims, working with the vendor to rebuild a relationship with the vendor, because obviously the vendor would be driven from pillar to post by the company, by constantly changing their minds what they wanted. But more importantly, getting the franchises as part of the decision-making process. So we did all that, went out and had one-day workshops of all the franchises separately, me and a business analyst. And then we rebuilt the project, rebuilt the decision-making process. So in the end, the project was delivered in successfully, on time and budget. And the UK office belatedly acknowledged the fact that the franchises offered a hell of a lot of good expertise to the project. So, through synergy, we delivered over and above what was in the original scope.
So what would the typical 30 days or initial 30 days look like, and what would you deliver?
Well, as I just run through there, you go in, you look at what's been drawn up, go back to basics. What does the project appear to? Does it appear to existence on a business case? And again, methodology needs to be looked at, whether it's Prince 2, Agile, is there a mixture of both? Are you clashing with the way the vendors run the solution, for instance? So look at all those things. So look at the scope within the business case and the PID, look at the processes in place. So if there are processes in place which are working, fine, carry on with those. If not working, replace them with the agreement of the senior stakeholders. As I say, listen to the senior stakeholders. If necessary, reset the boundaries, reset the time, reset the resources. That needs to be done quickly, because if you don't do that, the project will just continue to fail, and that's the worst sort of project to be on. A project that fails day by day is a terrible project to be on. Also, look at the resources in place. Normally, it's a mixture of BAU people and outside resource, be it other contractors or a vendor or whatever. And also make sure outside end users, i.e. if you're providing a system for somebody else to use, are they involved as well? Listen to what they're talking about. Have a system in place that even if they raise something and it's not accepted, you get back to them and you tell them why it's not been accepted, so they understand. They should be in the whole thing, that people, even if they mightn't get what they were asking for, they understand why they're not getting it for, they understand the bigger picture. You need to bring all those parties on a journey. You need to have an insight thing, and you need to, and sometimes if the resource isn't up to scratch, don't complain about it. Mentor them, give them the skills to do so. Have a workshop to say, you're part of a project team, this is what it is. You're outside your normal business as usual. You're dealing with senior people or something. You're not into presentations. These are all things that people fear. Part of my role is to help them get through that and build a strong project team and recognize people's weaknesses and strengths to deliver a project.
That's fantastic. So why would our clients use a fractional project manager as opposed to a part-time or a full-time project manager?
Yeah, so if you're a part-time or a full-time, you're on your own. You're not part of a business normally. Whereas with business technology leaders, there is a whole group of people to call on with experience. For instance, I've worked with yourself, Simon, before joining business technology leaders, and it's always good to have somebody else to talk to, because sometimes you might have solutions, and after 20 years plus, I'm still learning. You've got to be open to what people say to you. I can't provide all the answers. Other people can. I set a system where people are confident, bring other things to the party, and strengthen the project and listen to them, so that everybody is moving in the same direction.
Yes, and that's the community we're trying to build at Business Technology Leaders. We also think that working on a fractional basis during business hours, but for a fraction of the working day throughout the month, it's better value for money for our clients.
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, if you've got a part-time or a full-time thing, you can sometimes run into unnecessary arguments over, well, I've done my 3 days this week, and you're suddenly asking me to do a 4th day week. That's not our approach. Our approach is to have a set of boundaries in place, with budgets in place to cover a certain period of time. I've worked with clients in America, worldwide, Japan, China. I've worked with project teams, Vietnam, India, sometimes all at the same time. If that's what needs to project get done, that's what happens.
And I think it's fair to say that as a team, our greater experience often means that we can deliver things in a shorter time period, or we won't take as long to do something as maybe less experienced people will do.
Yeah, absolutely. So sometimes a less experienced person, they might have the Prince 2 certificate, but they're doing it by the book. And I don't mean that in a derogatory manner, but sometimes you have a process and it's the computer saying no. You got to step outside. You got to think, hang on a moment, are we achieving what we need to achieve? Have we set up the appropriate systems to listen to people, and also to adapt? And as I say, create a synergy between all the various parties to deliver a bigger project. With our experience, we can see those areas. We're not on a funnel, and sometimes when you bring in say for instance, a technical project manager who's only dealt with one area, well, guess what? He's going to give you a solution in that particular area. He's not going to necessarily look outside. As I say, me, never mind all the rest of the team, have got bags of experience in different environments, and Yeah, sometimes we've learnt the good lessons the hard way by occasionally failing. But
Yes,
we have a network in place to avoid that. You're not dealing with one individual on their own.
that's fantastic. Thanks, Tony. Are there any final words you would like to add?
No, as I say that, yes. I've been with business technology leaders since January. As I mentioned already, I've worked with Simon before, and I've always enjoyed it. But it's with a similar set of people who are motivated, highly intelligent, want to do the right thing, not just bring their technical expertise and look after expertise at the expense of everything else. It's basically sharing, as I say, bringing people on a journey and delivering a great product at the end of the day, over and above what's been spec. That's what normally happens if you've got a good motivated team helping and not listening to what you want as a client.
And that actually follows nicely into our guarantee. We're so confident that we have a highly skilled team that we offer a guarantee. If in the 30 days our clients aren't fully satisfied with the excellent work we're providing, we give them a no money guarantee. But they can talk to me directly to find out more about that.